Greetings once again from quarantine, everybody. Today, NBC Sports Washington is proud to welcome on Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 FedEx Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. I feel like I know what's going on in your quarantine life because I see all the time on Race Hub tweeting out content from your social media handles. I mean, we got a pool, a golf simulator, you got your iRacing simulation rig. I feel like it's a fun time to be at the Hamlin household right now.
I tell my kids all the time, don't come to me and tell me you're bored. So there's plenty of stuff to do. So certainly pretty blessed when it comes to things like that for sure. But yeah, I mean, I want to get back to work just like everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I've been asking a couple drivers this question, and I hope that you'll participate. I'm going to give you 3 drivers that you can be quarantined with. You can pick your teammates if you really want to, but I think that's a cop-out. Who are you picking?
3 guys. I would pick Ricky Stenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I would pick
It's tough, I know.
William Byron.
Okay.
Jimmy Johnson.
Interesting trio. You got your youngster, you got the arguable GOAT, and you got the mullet man.
That's right.
Okay.
Each one of them brings something different to the table.
I would say that they would probably either be quarantined at your house or Jimmy's house. I feel like you guys have the most fun toys.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Has Taylor been going wild, and is it more entertaining, annoying, or cute?
A little bit of both.
That's
it's cute in the morning, entertaining in the afternoon, and aggravating at night.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
It works its way there.
Yeah, we love her for it, right?
Yeah.
The Pro Invitational Series, let's talk about iRacing for a minute. It's been a resounding success so far. I think that's pretty safe to say. And you were one of the ringleaders along with Dale Jr., who kind of tried to make this a reality. And now that you kind of see the fruits of your labor paying off, does it feel good to see this becoming a success and being on national TV, watched by over 1 million people every single week? It's kind of crazy to think about.
It really is, and I never thought it would have this type of platform. But obviously, when I reached out to a lot of the drivers to see if they would be willing to participate, we had an overwhelming amount say yes, and then iRacing got involved, and they contacted some driver representatives as well and figured out, hey, can we get them to participate? And next thing you know, we have pretty much a full field out there each and every week, or we do have a full field. We actually have too many. We're talking about this week in Richmond actually cutting the field down a little bit. So it's for me, it's like it's hard to believe that it's taken on a life of its own, and obviously has been hugely successful.
So I know some drivers put in a lot of work during the week. Some drivers don't. They spend their time in other ways. Where do you fall on that spectrum? Do you put in hours on the sim, or are you kind of just flying by the seat of your pants?
I mean, I would say on any given week on iRacing, preparing for a race that we'll have like at Richmond on Sunday, I would put in normally about 20 hours a week, somewhere in that range. So, I mean, a fair amount. I mean, you're trying to qualify the best you can and not be in wrecks in the back of the pack. So it's, I would say I spend more time preparing for an iRace than I do a real race. That's probably the realistic truth.
Well, hopefully we'll get to a point in your career where the pedals in the real cars are not hot enough that you can race barefoot. Because I think
that would be nice. That would be nice for sure.
That would be. Another question I'm curious about with iRacing. So we know your background with it and how you got introduced to Dale Jr. and you guys met and forged that relationship, and that kind of kicked off your career in that respect. But at what point did it go from kind of having a steering wheel and pedals and a table like you see Timmy Hill or Ty Majeski have to you having this big spaceship type rig that Clint Boyer always jokes about? When was that point?
Well, I think it came when iRacing started to become more and more popular. These companies started coming out with different ways for you to feel like you're sitting in an actual race car. I race SimCraft equipment. Mine's full motion if I choose to use it. I don't use the motion that much because I don't want to get turned over like you saw in one of my
That's right.
videos I posted. You don't want to get turned over, but to me, it makes it feel more real life, even though it doesn't equate to more speed. So I think that it was something that a good purchase in my mind, because I feel like when I'm in there, I'm looking at all the same dash. Everything is very, very similar to what I have in my real car. So it's easier for me to kind of get the information I need.
Let's go to the real racetrack for a minute. There's no better way to kick off the season, as you know now for the third time, winning the Daytona 500, and you just happen to do it for the second consecutive year, joining a pretty elite club with that. Given this interesting non-planned break, have you given yourself any time to reflect on the fact that you're a three-time Daytona 500 champion, and I'm sure probably somewhere behind you is one of your race-winning cars? I mean, have you allowed yourself to kind of think about that in this time off?
A little bit. I mean, I think it's still a little bit surreal for me when I kind of look over and I see 3 Daytona 500 trophies. I never thought I would have one, but much less winning the race 3 of the last 5 years. I mean, it's a run that, I definitely probably won't go on. I'm going to try to win next year and the following year, but it's just
Right.
the odds are so stacked against you to just win one, but much less how we've run the last 5 years. It's just been amazing. But I don't know. We'll just kind of take it year by year and figure out, what all I can continue to improve on and try to get more wins in it. I feel like I'm continuing to work on my craft and feel like I'm constantly learning as a driver. I don't think I have it figured out. Even though the statistics would say that we have, it's still, there's a lot of moving parts in it to winning a race, and you still have to you have to get all the data in to figure out where I need to be. What line do I need to restart in? Where's the most susceptible place to get in a crash? Don't put yourself there. How can you leapfrog that position? So there's so much that goes into it, but like I say, I'm just kind of a student of the game at this point.
Learn that from MJ, right?
That's right.
Let's also talk about this year in general. I know that you are aware that the statistics say you are right at your peak right now. Age 39 is the peak age for a NASCAR driver. And we know the plan is to hopefully get all 36 races in. But once we get back going, whenever that is, it's going to be full go, no breaks whatsoever. Midweek races, doubleheaders, whatever it's going to be, it will be. One, are you down for all that? And two, realistically, do you think that we'll be able to get all 36 points paying races in? I sure hope so.
I do too. I definitely hope that we get to go to all the venues that we're supposed to be going to. I think it's very important for NASCAR and obviously our TV partners to get all the races in. It's very important for the race teams. They rely heavily on the income from these races as well as the TV money that goes into it. So there's a lot of moving parts that need to be worked out. But certainly I think NASCAR, they're not just sitting at home, not, on vacation right now. They're working hard to make sure that once we do go back racing, we get in all 36 races to have a proper champion crowned at the end.
And this weekend we head to one of your home tracks, Richmond Raceway, virtually, of course. And you've had your fair share of success there in the Cup car, a few wins under your belt. How does the sim rig at Richmond compare to real life Richmond? Do you think you can maybe have some of that success translate on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to. I definitely would hope to, but there's no guarantees. When I talked about, there's races of luck and chance. It's, on iRacing, if you don't qualify well, you put yourself in a hornet's nest back there with guys that have not done this or take it very seriously, and you're liable to get in a wreck. So I think for me, it's qualifying well that is the need to put the most emphasis on. If I do that, then I know I'll race well.
Well, I think if you were quarantined with William Byron, you could probably learn a thing or two about getting around Richmond with them.
I agree with that. It's hard to believe that a kid so young I could learn a lot from. But trust me, when I'm out there iRacing, I try to get behind him all I can to learn all the tricks of the trade that he's acquired over the last few years.
Join the club, I'd say. Well, listen, Denny, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Give Taylor the benefit of the doubt. We love seeing her mess around on social media, but make sure that when you're racing on Sunday on the Fox Family Network, she does not hand you a shaken bottle of Coca-Cola, okay? That could have been bad.
Sounds good. I can do that.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Denny. Stay safe.
Appreciate it.